Hello, hello. Welcome to COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky. My name is Matt.
And I'm Jeff.
And we have a very special guest, two guests with us today, Mr. Derek DeFranco and Ryan Reed from Twin Brewing. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. It's another hot day in Kentucky. So.
It's another hot day in the studio.
It's a hot day in the studio for sure.
Yeah. We have no AC, and it's hotter inside than it is outside, but we're dealing with it. I got my sweat towel that I keep in my car all the time because I'm always prepared because I sweat like a mofo.
I do that, but when I go to Bikram Yoga.
When you go to Bikram Yoga?
I got to take one towel for the mat and one towel just to wipe
if I did that,
sweat out of my eyes.
Yeah, if I did that, I need a sham wow.
When you come to Bikram with me?
Okay, when is it?
I go. It's every day.
Can we drink beer?
I don't know. You can't.
You never tried not to.
It's not a no, it's a yes.
Yeah, I'd say okay. I'm there. Let's do it. Let's film our next episode at Bikram Yoga, drinking beer while doing yoga.
We're going to be so sweaty in here. It's going to be like doing Bikram, but without any stretching.
Yeah, exactly. It'll work all those beer calories off right away. So, anyways, we got Derek here from Twin Brewing. You guys are not open yet, but you will be very soon. Very soon. Tell us a little bit about your brewery.
So it's been about 2 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
I had recently graduated law school and passed the bar and became an attorney, and I really didn't want to do that. After spending 3 miserable years in law school,
I'm going to touch you here a little bit. I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
Because you go to law school to not be a lawyer.
Right. And
where would you go to law school?
I went to law school at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale.
I know that. I know that very well. The press is the publisher of all my books.
Right.
Okay.
And that's where I got first exposed to homebrewing. One of the guys in the class below me was a homebrewer. And I had some of his beers. And, as someone who'd never tried homebrew before, I was amazed at how someone could make beer at home and it could be as good as it was. And it still kind of tasted like homebrew. And so that's when I was first exposed. And I got into it, and that's kind of when the idea of, to heck with all this stuff I did in law school, I want to open up a brewery. And so I met Ryan probably about 1.5 years ago, and we started, I told him, hey, I want to open up a brewery, and he was like, that sounds like a great idea. And so I told him kind of our concept, and he was in love with it as much as I was from the beginning, and so we started writing a business plan. And that took about 1 year. Of doing research. I went to the other breweries that had been open for a while, both in Lexington, some back home, and I just kind of wanted to figure out, is this a profitable venture? And it seemed from everyone I talked to that it was, especially, with Country Boy. Look how fast they've grown.
Everywhere
how fast they've grown.
And we're only talking 4 years of Lexington craft beer, not counting Alltech.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which has been here for 1 million years.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Exactly 1 million. I did the math and I looked him up on Wikipedia, which is always right.
Right.
1 million years.
1 million years for Alltech.
Yeah.
So, and you didn't have any trepidation. I mean, you didn't have any trepidation coming in and saying, well, there's already 3 or 4 solid breweries. Does Lexington really need a 5th?
Well, I mean, that was the first question we asked. Can Lexington support another brewery? And, one of the 2 other places we looked at, it was Asheville, North Carolina, and Boulder, Colorado. And in those places, 1/3 of the population that Lexington has, but they have 25 breweries. Mm-hmm. And so we thought, well, I'm sure Lexington can afford one more. And the more I got into it, and the more it became a dream to reality, we realized there's definitely more room for breweries in Lexington.
I love to use I use the Asheville example all the time, and those who argue with me say, but this isn't Asheville. I mean, we're not the same culture as Asheville. I said, well, as someone who grew up in Asheville, I can tell you Asheville was not always Asheville either, and it was actually a totally different place 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But they succeed, obviously, because they have this culture of food and beer, and you can hang out on a Saturday afternoon at 11 when they all start opening in that little area where the Funkatorium is and Twin Leaf and Green Man, and it's already, stuff's getting packed. People are already just flocking to sit outside and have a beer on a Saturday afternoon, or just go a little bit farther to Wedge, or go to the Square where Wicked Weed Tap Room, the brew pub is. I think we can be the same kind of city. I agree with you 100%.
And beer aside, I don't think our cultures are different, obviously, but I don't think we're that far off.
We have food.
Like that.
We have the food culture.
Yeah.
We have the artisanal craft culture. We have the outdoors. We have a lot of the similar ingredients. The young population.
Exactly right. Yeah, and that's been something that's kind of been evolving over the past decade or so. But yeah, I think Lexington is primed for some sort of I don't want to say explosion, but growth. That we've been experiencing. So bringing on something like what you guys are doing, I think is extremely welcome. But the brewery that you guys have, it's over on National Avenue. Is that correct?
Yes. So if most people are probably familiar with locals, it's the big yellow building right off of
the restaurant.
National
Yeah.
Avenue. And we are about three buildings down National from them.
Yeah.
And so the best way to describe it, I say, there's a CrossFit gym. I think it's called Maximus.
Yeah.
And then there's a big open lot.
Okay.
And then there's a metal building. That's our location.
Yeah.
And it's getting a facelift at the moment.
Yeah. So when can we? When will the masses be able to try some of your beers?
We are hoping to be open early August, mid-August.
Okay.
So, just like any business, we've had some setbacks.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and it's for us, we see progress every single day, which is good. And we try to post that progress on Facebook and our Twitter accounts to let people kind of see this thing went from just being this open shell metal building to now with, we've got the drywall in and the floors are almost done, and it's exciting for us.
Yeah, but always expect the unexpected when you're opening a brewery or a restaurant.
Yeah. Well, that is exciting.
And what's really going to be unique about what you all are doing over there, in another interesting area we can talk about, is you've got that concept that we already see here a little bit with West 6, where there's two businesses side by side in a kind of symbiotic relationship, or we see at Mad Tree in Cincinnati, where there's food, but a totally separate business, and then your brewery, right? And you're partnering with Rolling Oven to do this.
Right. So it kind of came out of necessity, and it also we thought it was a smart business decision. I've worked at both Alltech and Blue Stallion, both great places. And one thing I noticed was that people have a tendency to not stay as long if they're not eating.
Yeah.
And also when I first moved here back in 2013, people wouldn't stay at Country Boy for the same reason.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't want to do food. I was a chef when I was 18 years old to about 22, and I worked in restaurants before then, and I just didn't really want to do that anymore. And so we went to several different food trucks, and we kind of said, hey, how would you guys feel about having a brick and mortar location? Yeah. And when we approached Nick with Rolling Oven, it was almost like he wanted it more than we did. And so we sat down several times, and we really kind of came up with an idea, and we both just loved it. And so, now not only will he have his food truck, and he has a location in Nicholasville, but he'll also have a physical restaurant in the tap room of us. So I think that'll be really cool. You can go up, you can order a pizza, and then you can just turn and order a beer at the same time.
And pizza, beer.
I don't know if there's a better combination.
That's like that's God's combo. I'm pretty sure that's what was created. If you're
cheese, meat, bread,
right.
And booze.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. And also perfect for me because I have two kids, and my 5-year-old, only one of the few things he eats in life is pizza.
Yeah.
So that makes it even better.
Everybody, Actually, my friend's daughter doesn't eat pizza, and I'm pretty sure she might be like extraterrestrial alien because I've never seen a kid that doesn't like pizza.
Well, my kid doesn't eat French fries.
Yeah.
Or hamburgers.
Okay. Well, but he'll eat pizza.
Well, variation. So quesadilla, grilled cheese, pizza. There's a theme here, right?
Yeah.
Bread and cheese.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Somehow he's alive on bread and cheese.
That's like the pyramid, the kids' food group pyramid.
Right.
It's like cheese and bread, and then like
Skittles.
Yeah,
and
candy.
then ice cream.
Right under that. And then ice cream. Yeah. All the major food groups. Well, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to 93.9 WLXU. This is COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky.
Beautiful Lexington, Kentucky, and
so eloquent.
Hot and sweaty sauna studio.
Yeah. But we got Derek DeFranco and Ryan Reed here talking about Mirror Twin Brewing. You and I were talking a little bit earlier about the name of the brewery, and I thought it was really interesting. You are a twin.
Correct.
But not only are you a twin, there is an actual term for the type of twin you are, and it's considered a mirror twin. So tell me a little bit what you were talking about, how that came to be with the with the name of the brewery and how that actually plays in.
So I have an identical twin brother, and when we were growing up, we were known as, it's a very small facet of, so identical twins, I think, make up 1% of the population, something very minuscule. And within that, there's an even smaller population of twins that are called mirror twins. And so what it is generally speaking, it's when one twin is right-handed and one twin is left-handed. And so so they're the mirror image of each other. I found in my experience, I know a couple of twins seem to find each other.
Yeah,
it's like we have Twindar, you know.
Yeah,
and so I have several friends that are twins who are actually mirror twins. Also, my wife is she's in a tough spot. There's like 4 or 5 sets of twins in my family.
Really,
and they don't even skip a generation. So
that's crazy.
She's worried about that. But
okay.
So it actually goes a little deeper than just the right-handed, left-handed. I found that with all the other mirror twins I know, that it also has a personality aspect to it.
Yeah.
My brother and I are I'm nice. He's a dick.
Oh, so he's the evil. That was my question. He's the evil twin
absolutely.
that you hid in the attic for several years.
Yeah.
I have a fantastic beard. He's clean shaven. But
don't look. Every time he says beer, he looks at me and he's like, "I'm so spiteful towards you."
Well, look at your beard.
I know.
So,
That's
great. It's
You're
so amazing.
There. You're getting there.
He has
It's very
a secret.
sexy. You have a sexy beard.
Yeah, I don't have the dapper Magneto salt and pepper thing you got going on.
Well, I'm 86 years old.
That is true. I forgot about that. It comes with the age.
You look good for 86.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
Well, the only part of that story, I'm kind of sorry to hear you're not the evil twin. I think that would make it a little more interesting for us, but
well, I think it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
If you ask my parents, they might have a different.
So he hates beer.
No, he actually he is not as big of a beer drinker as I am. He sticks with like the Cougar Baits and brown ales. I like I like everything. And so he actually for a while he didn't drink.
Okay.
So that was unfortunate for him.
Yeah, really.
He's missing out.
What's wrong with him?
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
So so that was kind of the basis that led you into the naming of the brewery, but you carried it even further, and you're letting that play into the business model and some of the marketing that you do with your beers.
Right. So I always thought the name was cool, even from when I was a kid, and so we were looking at it. I saw this really cool opportunity to take our name and like you said, take it a step further.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little unique with some of our beers. We're going to have 10 of our own beers on tap to start with. And 5 of them will be kind of what we think will be our flagships. Mm-hmm. And then out of those 2, and sometimes out of the experimental beers we brew, we're gonna twin them in a sense, what we call our twin drafts.
Okay. Where
we have two beers where they have an identical recipe, but we just change one ingredient, whether it's the base malt, or it's a like an adjunct flavor.
Yeah.
Or the yeast or the hops.
Yeah.
And what I found just, from home brewing and kind of even scaling it up, that you just change this one small facet of brewing the beer and you end up with 2 totally different products.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do is you can either, buy those beers separately or you can order them in 2 8-ounce glasses for the same price as a 16-ounce.
Yeah.
And just drink them side by side. And I think people will really appreciate how just those small tweaks can make a huge difference.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to drink more beer.
Yeah, well,
that's usually what it comes down to.
That I can get 2 new beers in one shot.
Exactly.
It's great for me. I mean, for beer nerds, I think that'll also be just a nice little side thing. Hey, man,
no one's really doing it.
2 new beers in one sitting instead of one.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. So you want to take a little break?
Yeah,
okay,
I need to go get like a cooler of ice and dump it over my head.
You're listening to COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky, on WLXU-FM in Lexington, Kentucky. And let's. I have no idea what this song is, but I will.
I hope it's kosher.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's going to be something relevant.
Welcome back to COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky. I'm Matt, and Jeff apparently is a 12-year-old girl tied up in an 86-year-old man's body.
Wasn't that song absolutely the worst?
What was that?
I don't know what it was. I was just looking for a song with sweat in the title. and I saw this song called "Break a Sweat."
That's what you're over there googling.
Yeah,
real
right.
quick,
It's like, oh my god, I'm sweat. I need a song of sweat.
That is appropriate. Then I didn't hear any of the lyrics at all.
I don't know what it was.
We had a captive audience right until he played that song.
Yeah, yeah, and everybody is zoned out. Well,
That song was great though. We were at a tasting on Friday night, Matt and myself.
Yeah.
And that was the kind of music being played because what was it called? It was called like a multi-party or something.
I don't know. Yeah.
He had
And
one of
then-
those cable channels with just music, and it was 80s girl party music that was playing.
Yeah, and then Creed.
And Creed. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess it is. Yeah. So, anyways, welcome back to COCBLOK, Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky on 93.9. We got Derek DeFranco here and Ryan Reed sweating over in the corner over there. I'm waiting for him to like start melting into that chair over there. Poor guy doesn't even have a mic. He's just sweating. Yeah, he's like a slave to to this show right now. But we are talking about Mirror Twin Brewing that is opening up very soon, and we were talking about some of the twin beers that you have coming on, which is really cool. What kind of beer do you like though to drink and to brew? What do you gravitate towards anything, or do you like everything? And
well, I like everything, but we're gonna focus more on American styles.
Okay.
For what we perceive will be our flagships.
Yeah.
And then our experimental beers will just kind of run the gamut.
Mm-hmm.
But the 5 beers that we're going to brew that we think will be our flagships are a blonde ale, just kind of that introductory beer.
Of course.
There's people who think that they only like Bud Light.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get them in.
Yeah.
And then brown ale is actually my favorite style of beer.
Okay.
It has been since I was about 18.
Mm-hmm.
I was bringing 6 packs of Newcastle when everyone was buying the natty packs.
Yeah.
And then we'll have an IPA.
Okay.
We'll have a red ale, and we'll have a wheat ale that's kind of unique. It's called Whatever You Want Wheat, and it'll be kind of like Oberon, where there's not a whole lot of spices and fruit added to it like Blue Moon. And what we're going to do with it is we'll have about 4 to 5 different organic and as locally sourced as we can find juices.
Sure.
That people can ask to have like a shot of the juice or 2 shots of the juice added.
Okay.
And you can literally either drink it by its own or make a kind of a 2-order shandy with it.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Shandy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Right.
And Ethereal kind of did something similar with the was it the Berliner Weiss?
That's what I was
right?
thinking.
Right.
The syrup to the Berliner Weiss.
Yeah,
idea.
which I thought that was really cool. It was fun.
But shandies are very popular right now, and in town, just Blue Stallion. And who else is doing a shandy?
Right, Blue Stallion has a shandy. I think they can, since they focus more on German and English style beers, they call it a Radler.
A Radler.
That's right.
But which is cool. Blue Stallion actually makes the lemonade themselves.
Oh,
which I
really?
think is really cool.
Okay.
And so, other than that, I think that's the only other brewery.
That's the only one I can think of in town, or maybe even.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of
Kentucky.
commercial examples, but yeah.
Yeah, and Boulevard does one.
Linnenkugel.
Yeah.
I had a fair share of those in Alabama on the beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh God, I didn't even tell you about my trip to Alabama. I started out with like, I'll go down to the beach. I haven't been to the beach in forever, and I'm like, I'm bringing a bunch of beer to the beach because I don't know what kind of distro they have distribution, which was actually rather good. But I had like 2 4-packs of like Hell or Heaven 10% IPA and some like really dark like coconut stouts, and I'm just kind of like, I'm sure I'm going to be in the mood for this stuff. So I started throwing in the cooler, and when I get down there, I realized I put all the stuff that I thought I'd be in the mood for, and I didn't actually put anything light in there. So like 4 like stouts in, I'm like laying on my side like a beached whale, just trying to like roll into the ocean because I was just like dying from like all the heavy beer. So yeah, later, and we ended up buying the summer shandy.
Surprised you didn't bring some 50-50 Eclipse with you down to the beach.
Yeah. We opened up a Westbrook Mexican cake.
Right on the beach?
Yeah, it was rough. It was amazing for like the first 2 sips, and they were like, "Should we pour this out?" We're like, "We can't pour it out."
That is terrible.
Yeah,
That's
it
just
was
a
really
waste of
bad. It was
beer.
really good. And really, no, we finished it. We paid for it like the rest of the day. We're all passed out in lawn chairs and sunburnt. And
Sounds like a good time.
yeah, we had a good time.
I meant to ask you, we started a little bit, just for a quick diversion. What was that beer you're drinking out of a milk jug?
Oh, that was Good People Snake Handler IPA.
Oh, Snake Handler. That's pretty
Snake
good.
Handler double IPA.
Which is, I've had the regular IPA, and I don't like it at all. But Snake Handler's supposed to be
Snake
pretty
Handler's
good.
really good. It actually reminded me a lot of the Hell or Heaven from West 6. It's very malty, which I actually prefer a good balance of malt and hops in my IPAs, whereas he just likes all hops. So he's my mirror
I like
twin.
hop water.
Yeah, he's the evil twin in that scenario. But I'll go to this store, which I looked up on Beer Advocate just to find like the best shop, and this one rated pretty high, and it was like 1 mile from our condo. So we're like, that's cool. And I go in there, and honestly, this dude was like a car salesman. He's like, I see you're walking over and looking at the craft beer. Don't pay attention to any of those prices. I'll come down on any of those. And I was like, is that legal? And I was
like Mike Python. You didn't haggle. You got to haggle.
Yeah.
Haggle for the beer.
I was like, can you do that? And he's like, I just kind of do what I want. It's my store. And like, there's like one claw from Westbrook that's got like 2 inches of dust on it and like dated from like 2 years ago. And I was like, okay, well, let me see what you have. And he had like Mexican cake, just like 4 of them sitting on the shelf for like $21 though. I shouldn't
What
say
is it
that.
about?
I'm sorry, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it was very expensive, and he was like, oh yeah, what do you want to pay for that? And I was like, I don't know, like nothing. And he's like, oh, I'll just take you like 5% over cost or something. And he ended up dropping like 25% off, and I was like, okay. So I started throwing some other stuff on there, and he was like, I got the snake handler in on draft, and judging by the layer of dust on the one claw, I was like, I don't know if I trust that. And he's like, do you want to try it? And he pours in like a bootleg solo cup that he probably keeps on hand for himself when he wants to get drunk on the job. And he handed me some. I was like, that's
Wait, you're drinking out of the same cup he drinks out of?
Pretty much, yeah. It was a spit cup. He poured all the backy spit out, and then he like
that's not a way to get started.
He rinsed it with spit, and then so then he pours the IPA, and I was like, that's actually pretty good. How much is it? And he told me, and I was like, I don't have a growler. And he's like, oh, man, we don't worry about that around here. I got a milk jug for you. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And he's like, yeah, I'll be right back. And I was like, okay. He comes back with a half-gallon milk jug. I'm sure he probably just, like, dumped the milk out from, that was curdled in there and just, like, screws the top on. He's like, here you go. And I was like, thanks, man. I'm pretty sure that's not legal either, but I'll take it from you. And, we drank half of it, and I left the other half in the fridge for the next day. Didn't even think the fact that it was a not sealed milk jug and it was completely flat, and it was just like bad, but it was cheap. It worked.
That is some story.
Yeah. So
speaking of growlers, I assume you guys are going to do growlers.
Yes, of course.
Do you feel when you're like right now when you're in the merch level of putting together, you got the t-shirts, you got the stickers, you get the growlers, there's probably a certain amount of excitement in getting all this stuff done and getting that part even set up. What's our design going to be? What kind of shirts we're going to have? What our growlers going to look like?
Well, Ryan pretty much took care of the shirts. Being 7 feet tall, he's very particular about what material they're made out of.
7'12".
And so,
these shirts are soft. These are soft.
Yeah, so
these are the nice ones.
Yeah.
We decided to go with the tri-blend.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea what that meant until I met him, because I guess they don't shrink and they're also extraordinarily soft.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people are doing that nowadays with their shirts. I think it's the way to go.
We do that at UK now.
Yeah.
But it feels more tangible. When you start ordering the shirts and you start seeing, probably the best day was when our equipment came in.
Okay, yeah.
That was like, they can't take this check back from me now.
Yeah.
So, and I think the icing on the cake was when we start installing and start brewing, which should happen within the next 2 weeks.
So you're going to install the equipment yourself?
Yeah, so we decided to go with a smaller system.
Okay.
I think some breweries start 7 barrels. So a little smaller. I know Life Brew Pub kind of went our route with the smaller system.
You're a 3.5 barrel.
We went a 3.5 barrel.
Okay.
It has some advantages, some disadvantages. The advantage are, price point wise, is significantly less capital.
Yeah.
And also, it's easier to install.
Okay.
I don't need specialized, forklifts and specialized equipment to put it into place. The glycol system, which is really important, was probably about $10,000 cheaper than if we would have just, gone with a 10, 15 barrel system.
Yeah.
And so that allowed us to start with a little bit less capital, but also it really helps us with the twin drafts because we were able to get more equipment. We actually started with 10 fermenters,
right?
And so that allows us to really experiment where we can brew all of our 5 flagships and then have our idea from the beginning is to have 2 twins I think the blonde and the IPA are going to be the first twins, since we're going to open in the summertime, and I think those will be good.
Be appropriate, yeah.
Summer beers.
You know, one more question on the twins. So you're going to have at least 10 beers on tap.
Right.
But will the twins are going to change. It won't always be the same twin?
Right. That's a great question. So, no, it won't always be the same twin. It's kind of... We want to see what people's feedbacks are. You know, hey, what would you like to see twin next?
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's the brown ale. Maybe, one idea I had for the red ale was that, we brew one that's about 5-6% alcohol by volume, and then in the wintertime, when everyone's getting a little cold, we do kind of a winter warmer with it, where we scale it up to 9-10%.
Yeah.
And so, as far as the twin drafts go, they will be constantly evolving, and they'll go really. Our ideas, seasonally, they'll change, and then also, what do people say? What is your favorite twin? What would you like to see twin next?
So like a vanilla stout and a chili stout,
right?
Yeah, that'll be
things
sweet.
like that. To where, I made a beer about a year ago. It was a cinnamon toast crunch brown ale.
Okay. All right, I'm sold.
And
I'm ready for that one.
It actually tasted remarkably similar.
And its twin was actually a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch.
Right, exactly. You just made cinnamon toast crunch.
You actually pour the beer.
We might
in
actually
the...
just sell cinnamon toast crunch with your beer. In fact, no milk. You just pour
the beer right in there with a spoon. Yeah.
But
I'm ready.
so that's one of the beers where we can either have just the normal brown ale, and then next to it is the cinnamon toast crunch version of the brown ale.
And no sours.
Well, so sours are becoming remarkably popular.
Yeah.
And we want to. It's not just about brewing the beer you like. I love brown ales, and hopefully that'll be a popular style. But we also need to brew what's in, and so I think right now we've got our 5 flagships and 2 twins.
Okay.
So that leaves us with 3 open beers out of the 10.
Yeah.
I'm like 90% of where we're going to be, but it could change. I think we might do 1 sour.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do since we'll be opening early August, probably start brewing like the fall beers, like your pumpkin beers, maybe an Oktoberfest. We're not going to do a whole lot of lagers, but I think every once in a while.
But you do an Oktoberfest, I think.
Yeah. And, other than that, sour beer, the Oktoberfest. My dad really wants me to brew a Dunkelweizen, which
really
we'll have to see about.
Why not? Why not?
So, is he German?
No, he had one at a craft brewery, and he said,
okay.
He called me. He said, Derek, you got to brew this beer.
Yeah. But that's actually, I love that, because that's the kind of stuff that gets people excited that may not normally get excited about the blonde or even the stout.
I like a good.
That's their entry beer, and if that's what it takes.
I like a good Weizenbock. If you do a good Weizenbock, I'm sold. I'm right there.
I actually had a Dunkel at Arcadium here 2 years ago, and it actually blew me away. I was amazed, and I've never seen it on the shelves. I can't even remember what it was called, and I'm gonna have to look it up and remember. But it was
Dunkel Donuts.
No, what? Did you just think of that?
That was my comedy.
Yeah,
I'm right
so
there,
witty.
man.
Yeah, you get one a week. There's your one right there. We'll cash out the next one, but it's you can make a really good one just because it's if someone has a log or something doesn't mean it's gonna be bad. So it's exciting to see.
I don't think everybody has to do a sour, but I know everyone feels they have to do a sour.
Yeah, it's starting to get real popular. The goes
and I assume you'd do a kettle sour probably.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what I've learned is if we're gonna sour outside the kettle, it'll be with barrels.
Yeah.
So obviously another thing we want to get into is start barrel aging some beers.
And everybody wants the barrel age as well.
Right. And I think what we'll do is from the very beginning. We'll get some barrels and fill a barrel.
I think you need to get an open vat and put it on the roof of the building and get like all the bacteria from Jif.
Kentucky Cool Shit.
From Jif.
Jif. You get like a peanut butter sour.
Peanut butter yeast, right.
Right there, yeah.
But
you might be
if you want to do barrels, have you bought a forklift?
We don't have a forklift.
Then you can't do, I can do barrels.
So actually, the guy who was in our building,
Debbie Downer over here. It's like, nope, can't do it. Sorry, cancel everything.
He told us. He said, anytime you need to borrow the forklift, you can.
That's cool.
But that'd be fun to buy a forklift.
I kind of, yeah.
That'd be the moment where you're like, oh man, we just
Let me
bought
know
a
when you
forklift.
buy
made it.
We made it. We have a forklift.
As soon as you buy a forklift, we'll do a satellite episode, and we'll do it over there, and we'll do it on the forklift.
Mirror Twin training, COCBLOK,
Yeah.
how to drive a forklift.
All right, well, you're listening to COCBLOK, the coalition of craft beer lovers of Kentucky on WLXU in Lexington, Kentucky. And how about something to listen to for a little break?
Welcome back to COCBLOK, the coalition of craft beer lovers of Kentucky on 93.9 WLXU. I'm Matt, and got my daughter Jeff here listening to.
Hi, Daddy.
Yeah, that last song wasn't.
Sometimes I call you Daddy.
Yeah. Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Daddy.
We got
That's
Derek.
Al Green. How can you not like Al Green?
I don't like Al Green. I'm still referring
It's
to
not
the song.
Creed. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's.
It's not Becky G. Oh, by the way, that was Becky G and the other break.
Oh,
I have no
did
idea
you
who
actually
Becky
look
G
that
is,
up?
but that's Becky G.
That's what I was referring to.
You know, when we were in the break, besides Matt was doing push-ups in here for some reason. I'm not really sure what that was about.
Yeah, I had to put a sweat towel under my hat,
look
under my
swole.
headphones.
We were talking about plumbing, and you're telling us about how, you know, one of the difficulties of starting brewing is getting the plumbing license, and that's interesting. But I was also thinking about the bathroom situation in breweries, and without naming names, there's one brewery where it's always wet in the men's room on the floor. Like, I don't know if it's people. I don't think people are peeing all over. I think that toilet just leaks. And another brewery, I thought the urinal has been broken for a year because it's been taped up. But you told me that's not true. That it was just the pee was hitting all over the
Flashing all over the
backsplash.
place.
And that's that whole thing about having a bathroom in the brewery and keeping it clean. People are vomiting in there, and I was in the Army. I know what people do in bathrooms, where they go in places that you're just like, what the hell happened in this place?
Well, I didn't realize this, and you were telling, and we got Derek and Ryan from Twin Brewing here, and Derek was saying, because you used to work at Blue Stallion Brewery,
Right.
and you said they got a really great IPA called RBF, and it's really strong. You said it
Yeah, I
clocks
love
in
that
around
beer.
like 14%.
The last one I think was like 13.9%.
And you said the bartenders were complaining that almost every single night somebody pukes in the bathroom
Yeah.
because it's so strong.
Yeah.
That's funny. So
this is the part of owning a brewery. I don't even like to clean up after my kids when they go to the bathroom, and they don't flush the toilet
yeah.
usually.
And I will say, I mean, I think that goes for any kind of bar. I'm sure, you know, if you got like a Saddle Ridge downtown, it's probably tenfold. Honestly,
gosh.
you know what I mean?
Well, Hooters.
So, I wouldn't even say Hooters, honestly, but yeah, any of these just
Bennigans. We have a Bennigans in town? No.
Fuddruckers.
Fuddruckers.
There's one in Nashville, I think. Anyway, so we're talking about beer, and you're going to be making some beer, and I'm excited to try some of your beer. But what kind of beer have you had lately that you've enjoyed around town? What's going on around here?
Oh man, the double barrel shotgun was absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
Country Boy.
Shotgun Wedding was probably one of my favorite beers when I first moved here.
Yeah, for Country Boy, that's actually that's kind of my session go-to, and I love when they get it in cans, and it's brewery only. But I'll always grab half a case from there. I like to tell everybody I'm the #1 checker-inner of Shotgun Wedding on Untappd. But Double Barrel is amazing. They had was it Quad Barrel?
Berry.
I missed it.
Was it Quad Barrel? Quad Barrel.
Quad Berry.
Quad Berry or Quad Barrel?
I think it was Quad Berry.
Berry.
Yeah.
that was very, very
Everybody says really good, and then somebody told me, it's like, oh, you're the #1 checker in a Shotgun Wedding, you should go get the Quad Berry. And I was like, okay. I walk in there and talk to Brenda at the bar. She's like, it just floated like 10 minutes ago. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So then I left, and then our buddy Miller was like, oh, it's on again over there. And I tried to go down, I couldn't even make it down. So I actually still haven't even had it yet, but I heard it's really good.
I enjoyed that. I mean, if you want all the berry and then a little bit of that vanilla and chocolate in the background.
Yeah,
It was so
Very
good.
good.
and it's pretty high gravity too, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 9.
Those guys like it, big ABV.
Yeah.
I mean, their IPA
I
is
like it
7
too,
just to
yeah.
start with.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah.
So
And then we were just over at West 6 with their Heaven Heller, and that's
Heller
a really-
Heaven?
Heller. I always get them back there.
yeah,
But,
So you guys
that's a
are
really
drinking?
good double IPA.
yeah.
I was
love that one.
drinking the West Sixfold number 9 mixed berry.
9.
That's 9. That
Oh,
pinkish beer.
I thought a 7. I didn't know that.
No, it was 9.
on
It's a new one, mixed berry, and they do that sixfold. They do
I
a
didn't see
sixfold
that.
series of sour beers.
I didn't see that. I got the Second Fiddle Simcoe
That's a good one too.
IPA. That's solid. I think that was the first beer I ever had from West 6, because they had a version that came out with that when they first opened, if I'm not mistaken, and it's always been really solid. I think they should bottle that one.
I don't know why they
Second Fiddle.
don't.
I think it's great, honestly.
And half pint is coming out. Half pint in cans in the 15 pack
yeah.
cans. I like that.
I don't.
That would have been good for your Alabama trip.
Oh my gosh, I'm such an anti-session IPA
Love
guy.
the sessions.
Some people like them. I can't.
Theirs
I
is
can't
really
stand 'em.
sessionable, 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, and out of the session IPAs I've had, theirs is actually probably one of the better ones. But I just cannot stand those hoppy, low gravity beers with like no malt backbone. Like it tastes like garbage to me. No, I mean nothing against them, but just I think across the board, I personally am just not a fan.
And did any of you make it to Ethereal on, was that last Wednesday for the Xanth? Was that last Wednesday or the Wednesday before that? The Xanthus release?
I think it was last Wednesday.
Did you have
really
it on?
want to try it? Did you try
Ryan's
it?
not in his head.
You had it on tap? It was,
I had the bottle.
yeah.
Yeah, it was delish.
They had, they did a tap zero during the
Yeah.
bottle release, and it was just fantastic.
I missed that. I got there again right as it was floating. I swear I'm going to places and
did you
people
buy
are
any
like,
bottles?
Matt's coming, quick, take it off the line. Don't let him have any. Put it back on as soon as he leaves.
That's true.
No, I did buy 2 bottles. I
So
haven't
if you
opened one
do
yet.
Baileys and you do Xanthus, you're getting base beer is the same, but completely different.
Now I
taste.
like Bailey's, and it's a very, I mean it's a light mouthfeel feeling beer, like, but it's not a weak beer. It's what is like 10 or 11% or something like that. And I guess because the bread on there, I loved it. And at first I was like, this is kind of weird. You know, most old ales I just kind of interpret as being like sweet and under attenuated.
Right.
And this one tastes a little bit more dry. But as I got into it, it's actually very delicate. It's
really
amazing.
drinkable.
It's just a light bodied beer. But yeah, I'm interested to try the Xanthus, which I have a couple bottles. I need to open one, but it's that same beer without the bread added to it. So maybe it'll be kind of what I was expecting from the first one. Not that it took anything.
It's
away
also
from the first
sat in a barrel, I think, longer and a different kind of barrel.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger beer.
Yeah.
And
Wait, did you have it?
I had
know
it.
Ryan said
Yeah.
he had it. Did you have it?
Also, because when we were there, they put it on the kegerator.
So you did get it off the
got to
tap.
pour as well as buy the bottles.
Okay.
Far different than the beers. I just don't like the brewery old ales. I'm just not a fan of
the
those
brewery.
big sugar, high ABV.
I like those a little bit. Well, you and I, we were like you were saying earlier, we were at a bottle share
Right.
last
And
weekend.
cotton was poured.
Yeah. Is it pronounced cotton?
Or coton.
Is it like coton?
Coton.
I assume there's like some like
Je ne sais.
pretentious French pronunciation for all of their anniversary beers.
You want to hear me speak French?
It's like 3 letters and there's like 12 syllables, I'm
Here you
pretty
go.
sure.
I'm going to speak some French for you.
Are you?
Je ne sais pas. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
What is that?
À la vache.
I think it's coming on to you.
I know, I think it is too, yeah. I'm sweating a little bit more now. I like those beers in small quantities, but yeah, somebody opened the cotton or coton or whatever it's called, and it was like,
I've had that before.
at first you're like, oh, it's really good, but this was the brewery anniversary release from 2010, and so it's like 6 years old, so it was really smooth and everything was dialed in, but it's still just like, oh, it's a sugar bomb. It's really sweet. You get like, I think I poured 1 ounce, and I was like, I think it's enough for me, you know, and it's like 17% alcohol too, so. But I did buy the newest one that just came out. Is it Poterie?
Poterie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that you speaking French again? Say it again. Say it
ça
real sultry
ça
like you do.
l'appelle- Ça l'appelle Poterie.
There you go. I don't have no... Yeah, I think he said he's got to go to the bathroom. But I'm going to open that one on a special occasion. I don't know if it's all going to get drinking or not.
Yeah. I bought a brewery the other day, Sunday, called Share This. Have you seen this one?
I've heard of it. I haven't. Is it on the shelves?
I bought it off the shelf.
Okay. So then, yes. That was
It
I
the
bought it in a back alley.
some guy from the back of
There's
the
a guy in a raincoat.
Yeah.
Hey, was that you?
Yeah, it was
He had a
me. Yeah.
beard. The chocolate stout.
Okay.
It was a coffee stout. Excuse me.
Did you open it yet?
Oh yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
share it. Hell with that, man.
Is it okay? So is it a big gravity brewery beer?
I think it was like 11%.
Okay.
Yeah, coffee
After
shop.
you just get saying you don't like these big brewery sugar bombs, and you.
But it
down
was
one
it was
yourself.
coffee.
Oh, so in that case,
I can
it's-
drink 11% coffee all day
Yeah,
long.
we'll take an 18% sugar bomb.
I wish
but throw a
coffee
little
had
coffee in there.
I wish
it's
coffee
okay.
had high ABV. That'd be awesome.
Coffee?
Coffee.
You're talking about the actual drink.
Actual coffee.
You just want to drink all day, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wish water was like 6% ABV. I would be set. Yeah. Just pour me a glass right now. Whatever. Well, you're listening to COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky on the 93.9 WLXU. Is that right?
93.9 LXU on Lexington Community Radio, which everyone should listen to. I was at actually, we're supposed to get shirts.
From here?
Yeah, from here, because I was at Pride. We were at Pride on Saturday, and we saw Rosa there, and she said, there's shirts for us. So this
Yeah.
could be a 2-shirt day for us.
That's unbelievable.
That is amazing.
Mirror Twin shirts. We should appreciate that.
And community
You're
radio shirts.
Yeah, okay. I am sweating so bad that it's starting to drip down my
Oh, I see.
nose, even through my sweat rag. You're actually really bad, too.
No, look at my shirt.
Yeah.
My
I'm about
shirt
to-
is completely drenched.
Well, we were at
Donate money to Lexington Community Radio so they can buy an air conditioner
an air conditioning
and a kegerator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. So what else have you been drinking around town? Is that
To me?
I'm talking to you, yeah.
We have a
He
guest
just told
here.
me. I asked him already. He told me.
Well,
Now
first
I'm
of all, I was
asking you.
drinking. I had 28 new, not even everything we consumed that night. 28 new beers with you on Friday.
Friday, yes. We had a bottle share with some friends, some hard to get stuff, which I really get. I don't like the whole rarity thing played up.
It's
I
fun.
think I think it just it's kind of increases demand artificially, and it makes the stuff a lot harder to get. But I guess with that being said, we did have some rare beers, the Duck Duck Goose from wherever the frick it's from. And,
Lost Abbey.
yeah. But we had about, what did we open? 30 bottles?
28 new to me, so it must have been almost 40.
Yeah.
There was a small vertical Firestone Walker
anniversary ales, yeah, which those
that
are really good.
Mr.
I actually
Hale
like
brought.
those better than the brewery.
Oh,
beers,
yeah, by
which
far.
they're a little bit more dialed in. But we had some good stuff, and then the next day I went out with some friends and I had about 10 bourbons. So I'm not really sure how I'm standing up right now, but maybe that's why I'm sweating so much.
10 of the same bourbon or 10
Different bourbons.
Wow, that's nice.
We went out with friends and
That's
and had some
expensive
good
when you
time.
go out and have 10 bourbons.
Yeah, we went over to Bluegrass Tavern. They got a
Right.
great selection.
They do, but that
Yeah.
place is, yeah.
Yeah, we're actually there for
They have beer there too, though.
Yeah,
They have
the
a good
beers-
selection of beer.
Yeah,
Every now and
it
then
was
they get
okay.
Bourbon County or something like that.
I had a couple beers from there too that same night. So I can't even remember. Something from Christian Moreland, which I'm not a huge fan of theirs. They got some good stuff. But
I think they've turned it around completely with some of the IPAs they put out. The Bengali, and there's a new one. I forget what it's called.
now they got
Trailblazer. No, it's Trailblazer or something like that.
Yeah.
not intentionally trying to go off on the tangent, but Christian Moreland had a brewer that did either left or got fired. He started which one? He started another one.
Did he?
Yeah. Maybe they're not open yet, but then they brought on a new brewer, so they got a new guy at Christian Moreland, and that's when they started coming out with all the kind of the beers that have been a little
He's
bit more
killing it.
favorable.
He's making some nice stuff.
Yeah. Oh, what's the name of that?
What was that stout they did in a can? It was pretty good too.
I can't
Maybe
remember.
last year. Yeah, I think that whole area in Cincinnati is definitely killing it.
You talking about
That's
OTR over the Rhine?
Over the Rhine and then some. There's a lot of stuff up there I like to check out that I just haven't had a
Yeah.
chance.
You guys ever go to Cincinnati or travel some of the other beer areas?
Oh yeah, we're actually trying to plan a trip up to Asheville and to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Not on the same day. That would be.
That'd be-
Do you
That's a lot
get
of
to
driving.
do you get to write this off?
We're gonna try,
If you can find the right accountant. Yeah.
but no. We always try to visit new breweries because
Yeah.
I mean, we have this idea that the other breweries in town. We all need to work together to make.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit earlier about how Lexington's kind of becoming this beer scene,
Yeah.
and we need to help each other make that happen.
That's right.
And so, beyond that, we love to go visit other breweries. And it's so cool. My wife hates it because we'll go to another brewery and I'll talk to the brewer for 2 hours.
Yeah.
We've been here for forever. And,
My wife says that to me too, but I'm not a brewer.
right.
Yeah.
And so, we love, hearing other brewery stories.
Yeah.
Hearing, how do they do things. Most brewers are very open and honest about.
I've noticed that
how they
too.
tell you.
In craft beer.
And I think this is one of the ingredients to success as a brewer if you like beer. And surprisingly enough, there are plenty of brewers out there they don't really know much about beer. Not talking about this town, but in general. They're just not big beer drinkers to begin with. But when you're a beer nerd yourself and you like Wicked, if you're going to Asheville and you're going to check out Wicked Weed and Green Man and all that, or you go to Cincinnati, check out Taps and Rheingeist and see them up close, you're a beer person and you know what you're doing and you know how to. It's like being a chef who doesn't like to eat, right? You're,
Right. How does that happen?
Skinny
How does that help,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So you guys said you're planning. Have you been to Asheville before?
I have not been there yet. We were planning on going early spring, but some setbacks happened that I had to stay in town for. But it's definitely a trip we're planning soon. Yeah. And we have been to a couple of breweries in Cincinnati. We went to Mad Tree.
Yeah.
One brewery I've really wanted to go to is Mount Carmel.
Okay. That's interesting.
One of my best friends, it's like the neighborhood over.
Yeah.
And so he loves that place, and we wanted to check
They
it
sort
out.
of distribute here. But not everywhere.
Mount Carmel?
Yeah, I've seen their beers around town, but not all the people are buying. Not all the stores are buying their beer and putting them on the shelves.
Mad Tree was kind of the same way, but you're seeing more.
No,
of them.
no. I mean, I think it's a little different. I mean, Mad Tree came in briefly in the town,
Yeah.
and then said, "We'll be back next year."
They were kind of like testing it out.
Yeah,
a little bit.
they've tested
This is
it twice.
That's the universal symbol for testing.
But
it
there's a large grocery near campus that had a bunch of Mount Carmel, and I didn't see anybody else have it.
really.
I don't know if that's just a beer buyer decision.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Don't do the tag that you steal from what's his name.
We've said a lot.
There it
Maybe
is.
too
Yeah.
much.
We need to come up with our
That's
own.
from Howard Stern.
What should-
That's
what should our-
I like that from Howard Stern.
What should our outro be?
Yeah.
Coin it right now. 3
All right,
seconds.
Cheers, matey.
Are we all British all of a sudden?
we're about to go drink some beer.
There you
We're
go.
about to
Yeah,
go
let's
We
go
gotta
drink.
finish the show to go drink.
Let's go drink some
Let's
beer.
go drink some beer.
That's it. That's it.
Wow, it's been great having you here, and we're really
Yeah, thanks for
looking
coming,
forward
guys.
to when y'all open, and we're going to wish you all the success in the world.
Yeah, we'll
we
do another.
appreciate you having us.
Yeah, next as soon as you guys open, we'll come out there with a video camera. and
Absolutely.
you guys can see our video podcast, which Jeff hates saying, I guess, or call it looks like
It's a live show.
It's a live show. Well, if you want to watch it on the video version, we got it on bit.do/COCBLOK, COCBLOK. And yeah, when you guys are getting up and running, let me know. I'll come out there. We'll do a little behind the scenes
Yeah.
with some of the stuff. Sound good?
And once we have some drinkable beer, once it's done fermenting, we'll have you guys come up and
Yeah.
try them fresh from the tanks.
Drink some beer. I'm
hell
just gonna jump in the tank. Yeah, if
And
it's as hot as
everybody-
you say it is,
That might be our sour beer.
Why is this beer so funky? Yeah.
Everybody check
Yeah.
out Mirror Twin.
How do you say funky
August.
Matt in French?
Il est funky Matt. All right. Listen to COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky, and WLXU FM 93.9. Let's rock and roll.